everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a design on this green glass bottle with 3 AMAGIC flat brushes, a 14, a 12, and a 10, and then using the fine liner by Westonia. All the paints I'm using are FolkArt paints. I'm using Wicker White, Thicket, Happy Green. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm using a number 14 brush for my flowers. I will dip one side into the Wicker White, one side into the Yellow Ochre, and then do my blending strokes. Alright, and let's just go ahead and get started here. Now these are just going to be very simple. I'm trying to do 4 petals. Pushing down, doing a wiggle, bringing it towards the center, and then again pushing it down, bringing it towards the center. And if you get like this, you can just go back over it and make it look a little bit nicer, clean up the strokes. Just like that. And I'm just going to keep adding them. All of them are going to be going with the white on the exterior part of the petals. And just depending on how I want the design to look, you'll see that on my next video. So look forward to that. And I do like to kind of overlap a little bit. And I just keep. I try to close up the center as much as possible because I'm just going to be using a dot. So I don't want it to be too open because the dot won't cover a whole lot. If you feel like your design is not opaque enough as you're creating it, then just go back over it. Give it some dry time and go back over it. You need to fix up a petal, feel free to do so anytime you want. Just paint back over it. And you can do, just very fast movement or just very slow. Doesn't matter either way, depending on what you want it to look like. Okay, so with it being, let's say I have 5, I like to work with odd numbers. So with it being that I'm almost to the bottom, I'm just going to leave this open. Then I'm going to take my liner brush, and I like to just stick it into the paint, kind of roll it, stick it into the paint. I like to use at least 2 colors when I'm doing this. Pull some stems out that I can paint from as I go here. See, you'll see what they're doing. I don't want to do too many, to cover up the whole thing with, and you can make them to where they actually don't have to be one single line. You can do some swirlies in and out from it, up to you. And I'll do one that comes down like that. Again, it's just real loose. And I like to kind of go over them a little bit just to give them a little bit more thickness. That's nice. It can be a little hard to see. Alright, so then I'm going to pick up the number 12 flat brush. And with this, I'm going to create some leaves around the flowers. One side Happy Green, one side Thicket. Do some movement with it. And I'll be honest with you, I just keep adding paint as I go. No particular way to do it per se. And then I'm just going to do the kind of leaf where you just go back up, kind of turn it a little bit. And then go over this direction and turn it a little bit. If you ever find that you're not getting a opaque enough white, I think it's more has more pigmentation to it, so it will give you a better result that way. Just, you know, like to go in the reverse. If you rather have your lines show up, then turn your brush around and have the other color show going down it. That's exactly how you do it. All right, so I'm just looking at this thinking, okay, where do I need to add some leaves? And I can have them really close to each other. They can overlap the flower a little bit. Alright, so we're just going to keep going with this. Add a few more. Not too many, although I really like my leaves, so I could really get crazy with them. As many of you know. Anytime I'm creating a design, if it's something where you don't like what I'm adding, leave it out. You know, if you're going to do exactly the way I'm doing it, or if you think, gosh, you know, I would have put a leaf there instead, do it. Do it that way on yours. Feel free to be creative, and you don't necessarily have to do exactly what I do. I do designs for you to give you an idea of what can be done, an inspiration, I guess. I'll just come over here like that. And if you're new to my channel, please know that I do my designs based on wanting you, if you're a newbie, to be able to paint them with and not be too difficult, because I want you to try it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at that with those. The next thing I'm going to do is come in here with my brush. I'm going to, this is the number 10, I'm going to put it all into the tea berry. I'll do some dry time before you do this part, because it can pull in some other colors, you know, that's underneath the paint that you're painting on top of. Okay, so I'm just putting this color. I like to do some different colors just to give it a little bit more. Now on this one with the leaf overlapping, I'm going to just keep going here and pretend that it didn't matter. Now you could just use these and leave them as they are, with just the one color, or you can come back in and add white to it, which I think I'm going to come back in kind of like the green with them, but maybe some green and white. We'll see what that looks like. Just gotta be careful because you don't want to overwork it too much. If you do, you're gonna get some, this is what it's doing here. It raises up the paint. I just got to get more on my brush. See where it did that. Looks like it's cracking. Almost looks like I crackled it. Just a light touch on it, and you could possibly just maybe do, like, not even do all of them, just do some of the leaves, or you can matter. Like this is just kind of a partial leaf, like a side swipe. Or if you wanted to use the white as the base, you could do that too. You could use different size brushes. And this time I'm just going to just lightly come back over it because I want this to cover up a little bit. You don't want to rework it too much, and I think I am working it too much. So if you find one that is being worked too much, get the like I said, you could use different size brushes to do this so you're not covering up the whole thing. Up to you, but I like them to look a little bit different anyways. So, and some of these are already pretty thick, so I'm not going to probably go over all of them. Maybe something that's there. So make sure it covers well. Or maybe some that are maybe too white. If I don't want them to be all white, I can go over them. Or like I said, you could just use it as a ghost leaf and leave it alone. This one is I'm definitely working this one too much. But I'm trying to cover it up. I want it to look a little differently. I'll get it the way I want it here. But you get the gist, right? Just can layer them. Alright, I'm going to leave them alone. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take the end of the brush, doesn't matter which brush you use, take the end of it, put it into the tea berry, and then do a dot. And I like to do the opposite color, even though I'm using this color in my design. That way it shows up. You can actually see it. It's not the same color. Thanks for sticking with me. Go back to the liner, put your brush in and out of the paint, and then I'm going to have you go like this and add just some little pieces here to hook them together. And if it's too dark, just go back over it. And I just like to have other little stems mixed in here. I think it gives it some interest, even if it's not part of hooking it together. It gives it some interest. All right, so then we're going to come here, do the same thing, and we're going to come in here, come here. And even though it's underneath there, I'm just still going to go over the top of this leaf. I could come out from underneath. And then we're going to turn this around. Come up here. Kind of rotate back and forth between the colors. There you go. And if you, like I said, if you can't see them very well, you can see them. And you're good to go. All right, we're done. I hope you like this design. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And before you leave, if you will share this video on your social network with all your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.